Hey guys, what's up? Z back here again. Just like the Vikings with the bye weeks over, we're back. We've had to figure out what to do last weekend. We're all running around like sheep lost in the woods. But we figured it out. We got through Sunday, and now we know what we're going to do this Sunday. Watch the Vikings. So let's talk about it. And welcome to the Vikings Z game review. So let's talk about the Vikings. Starting with our least favorite discussion point, injuries. And start off with the home team, Washington Redskins. Let's talk about it. So first off, our cornerback Rashad Breeland has a shoulder injury, but he had full participation Wednesday and Thursday. He should be fine. Zach Brown, their linebacker, did not participate on Thursday with an ankle injury. Crowder, their number one receiver, depth chart-wise, has a hamstring injury and a limited participation throughout practice. Vernon Davis, the long-time stud defensive end, now he's a little bit long in the tooth, but nevertheless a very good weapon. Their tight end, a hand injury, limited participation on Wednesday, but had full participation on Thursday. He should be ready to go. Their defensive lineman, Ian Adonis, did not participate Wednesday and Thursday. He should be out. Arthur Jones, their defensive lineman, shoulder injury, did not participate Wednesday or Thursday. Sean Lavau, their guards, had a stinger injury, whatever the hell that means. Limited participation Wednesday and Thursday. Spencer Long, center, had knee injury, limited participation Wednesday and Thursday. Fabian Maru, cornerback, full participation Wednesday and Thursday. Morgan Moses, tackle, limited participation throughout practice. Monte Nicholson, safety, shoulder injury, limited participation. Ty Nicholson, tackle, limited participation. Niles Paul, tight end, concussion, did not participate on Thursday. He'll probably be out with that concussion. Brian Quick, wide receiver, another concussion, limited participation, so he might be in. We'll just have to see. Jordan Reed, their stud tight end, maybe the most talented player on offense. Hamstring injury, limited participation, that might slow him down, but I would expect him to play. Brandon Sheriff, the guard, I wanted this kid in the draft. Limited participation with a knee injury, I expect him to play as well. Trent Williams, tackle, did not participate with his knee injury. He will probably be out. So let's go over to Minnesota and look at their injury report, as it looks a lot nicer because Teddy's back, baby. Start off. Mike Remmers has a concussion, did not participate. I hope he's okay because that right tackle spot, we really want him to be okay. The biggest name on here, Everson Griffin, has a foot injury, did not participate either day. So I hope he's good to go, but otherwise we have B-Rob, so we're very well set. But Everson's such a big piece of our defense. If he's not in there, that hurts us across the board. If you don't get the pressures, all of a sudden our defensive backs have to work a little bit harder. Kirk Cousins might find a way to pick us apart. But if he's good to go, if he's not good to go, B-Rob will help a whole lot. Maybe hopefully Danielle Hunter can come in and look as good as he did last year, maybe get a few sacks. Jeremiah Searles, the knee injury, did not participate. A backup guard, not that big of a deal. Stephen Weatherly, a backup defensive end that might have to play a little bit if Everson's out. A knee injury, but he did not participate on Wednesday, but had limited participation on Thursday. Anthony Harris, a backup safety, hamstring injury. He had limited participation throughout practice. Danny Isidora, a guard that a lot of people like, a rookie, very good run blocking guard, has to work on his pass blocking. And he has an ankle injury, but he had limited participation on Wednesday, but he had full participation on Thursday. I expect him to be good and healthy. Michael Floyd, for some reason, is always injured. Has a hamstring injury, but he had full participation throughout practice. Same thing with Laquan Treadwell with his toe injury. Nick Easton, calf injury, full participation. Teddy Bridgewater, knee injury, full participation. He's good to go, baby. He'll be the backup quarterback. Don't expect him to play unless Keenum really stinks up in the first half. And then Stephon Diggs has a tooth injury. Limited participation on Thursday. Toothache, I'm not sure if maybe his baby teeth fell out, I'm not sure, but tooth injury, expect him to play. It shouldn't be a big deal. So let's look at and analyze the home team, the Washington Redskins. Everybody knows Kirk Cousins, and that's about it. So let's start off offensively. This team's okay, but not too good. They're third in the NFC East. They're 4-4, so you don't know what to expect. 4-4 teams are they could rattle off a few wins, get into the playoffs, or they could go the other way. So this is a team that's trying to stay in the playoff hunt, and they're about where they should be. They're average across the board pretty much. Offensively, they're 14th ranked offense, 22 points a game. Their total yards is 14,343. Their passing game is fairly solid, almost top 10, 244.4 pass yards a game, which is 11th. Running game, not very good. 98.6 is 21st. So let's look at their team defensively, and that's where they really struggle. 24.2 points a game against them. That's 24th. They give up 336 yards a game, which is 18th. They're slightly below average. 226 pass yards a game, which is right at average at 16, and 110.5 rush yards a game, which is again right at average at 16 in the league. So you're looking at an average at a defense that at the very least is mediocre, not too much to really look into there. And their offense, they have some explosive weapons that we'll look into in a moment, but you don't, if they get ahead, they can't run the ball to really get us out, so we'll always have a chance to battle back, even if they do strike first. So let's look into some of their individual players that we have to look into. First off, their quarterback, Kirk Cousins. He's completed 182 completions. He had 288 attempts for 2,000 yards, 67.9 completion rating. His 88 average, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So that doesn't really stick out. Right after week 8, if you double all those stats, you're looking at 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So that's solid, really solid. Not amazing, but not too great either. So pretty mediocre, just like their whole team kind of is. You're looking at a 67.9 completion percentage is really good. So he'll complete it. He has some big body targets to throw to, and one very good receiving running back. So let's look at their running backs and see why I think maybe they should change up their depth chart a bit. Rob Kelly's their leading rusher with 58 attempts for 184 yards, only a 3.2 average, as long as 21, and 3 touchdowns on the year. I'm not really sure why this kid's starting when I think they have better options underneath them. The rookie, Samaje Perine, has been disappointing. 57 attempts for 175 yards, a 3.1 average. So a guy that's supposed to come in a very deep running back class and hasn't really shown up thus far. The guy that I think's debatably their best player on offense, and I think is easily their best running back, is Chris Thompson. He has 51 attempts on the year, which is 3rd, but he has 251 rushing yards, with his the best by 70 yards. A 4.9 average is the best by 1.7 yards per average, better than Rob Kelly. His long is 61, which is 3 times Rob Kelly's long of 21, and he has 2 touchdowns, which is only 1 less than Rob Kelly. I don't know why they aren't starting Chris Thompson, maybe giving him 70, 80 carries this far in the season. All of a sudden, he could be looking like a top 10 running back, but instead they are going with Rob Kelly and trying to get their rookie started. So it might be a scheme thing. Maybe he just gets lucky and gets those 3rd and 10 running backs runs and gets 8 yards on those. But I think just stat-wise alone, I think if I was him, I'd be kind of pissed that I wasn't starting getting more carries. It's not a big blow. It's 58 carries compared to 51, so they obviously have a very big split-back system. But when you're the best guy easily on paper, I would think you'd want to get there. Maybe Rob Kelly's a better blocker. Maybe some Samaje Perine is better too. Whatever. But where Chris Thompson really stands out with his 251 rushing yards, he's their leading receiver too, with 35 receptions for 453 yards. That's a 12.9 average. A 74 was his long, and 3 more touchdowns through the air. This kid is super good. I don't know if I'm going to give him almost like a Percy Harvin type role, but that's kind of like what he is for him. You could give it more, you could say more Jerick McKinnon and hype it down a little bit, but he's a very big threat, and it's going to be a big task for our safeties in the box or our linebackers to cover him, because that's going to be really the big story of the game. If they can throw to him and get 6 yards a pop, that's going to be a hard time to really battle through that. And if they get a screen for 50 yards or so during the game, that could really help break the game open for them and be their big spark when they need it. So Chris Thompson's going to be a really big trouble for us, and he really gets cleared out because the linebackers and safeties are a lot more worried about their stud tight ends that we'll get into in a sec. So number 2 for receiving is their wide receiver, Jamison Crowder, with 28 receptions for 272 yards. And that's not very good. They'll end the year with 500, maybe 600 yards. That's not too great. Jordan Reed, their best player on offense, 27 receptions for 211 yards. His long is 20 and 2 touchdowns on the year. It's not that great. Also, Jordan Reed's a very talented player, and he hasn't really got started a whole lot. Ryan Grant, 24 receptions for 254 yards. Vernon Davis, a guy that they love on third down, 23 receptions for 384 yards. He's second on the team in receiving yards as the number 2 tight end, which is insane. 16.7 average, which again, for a tight end, that's insane. And 69 is his long, and he has 1 touchdown on the year. And their prized free agent possession, Terrell Pryor, 20 receptions for 240 yards, his long is 44, and only 1 touchdown on the year. And then Josh Doxson, 11 for 180. So they spread the ball out a lot. They don't have one guy that really steps out except for Chris Thompson. But you'd think you'd want that guy that you can trust a bit more, because they don't have anybody that's really expected to get over 800 yards receiving except for our running back. So it shouldn't be much to cover. Their only mismatch they really have is the fact that they have 2 tight ends that they can go out on passing patterns, take care of a linebacker, which will leave Chris Thompson wide open underneath, and you can get 8 yards, 15 yards pretty easily with your running back drag routes underneath. A play that a lot of Vikings fans hate when it's check down Sam or check down Teddy or whatever they call in Case Keenum nowadays, when they're throwing a little check downs to running backs that a lot of fans hate. But that's what can really help for the Redskins when they have a guy like Chris Thompson that can rack up yards like that, and you have tight ends that can take care of those linebackers so they can't go in the backfield and cover those running backs. Defensively, let's see what we have here. Zach Brown is their leading tackler by far with 86 combined tackles. He has 2.5 sacks. Preston Smith has 4.5 sacks. Matthew Idadinas has 3.5. I'm butchering his name so badly, I don't really care. And that's about it as far as sacks. As interceptions, Kendall Fuller has 3. Then there's a bunch of 1s across the board. So there's not a whole lot there. Of course, their number 1 defender that will be the matchup of the game, really, is going to be Josh Norman. And I think they'll probably match him up if they'll let him cover him and follow him. I don't think that's Norman's forte. I think he likes to stay on one side of the field, kind of like Sherman. But if he does and sticks on a guy, it'll probably be Adam Theilen, take care of the Vikings' most consistent receiver. So if that's the case, Stephon Diggs should have himself an absolute day, as he'll get a lot of targets. Kyle Rudolph should be a guy that we'll look to quite a bit. And Jerick McKinnon, Latavius Murray underneath again. Maybe get some of our other tight ends. Maybe Laquan Treadwell can go in and have a day, because the Redskins don't have a great pass rush numbers-wise. I know Preston Smith, 4.5 sacks. That's solid throughout the year. I mean, they'll end the year with about 10 sacks. That's good, right? But besides for that, they don't really have anything that really sticks out. Zach Brown's a really good linebacker. Should stay away from a few players. If you could stay away from Josh Norman and not challenge him, that'd be great. I think he's slow and we could burn him, but I'd rather us just burn some random kid that's not an all-pro, and we'll do a lot better. But Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, I don't think they can really shut down by anybody. They're such a great combo. Even if you want to shut down one, we have another. So pick your poison, and we'll take you on. Vikings in Washington at noon. Final score predictions. Vikings coming off a bye. I think they'll start off a little sloppy, but then we'll bring it together. Third quarter, pile on some points. Fourth quarter, nail in the coffin. Vikings, let's go 26. Washington 17. There you have it. Should be a fun, close game. One of the hardest fought games in the second half. Should be a fun one. Enjoy it, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.